personality.
That's great. That's what it should be. Yeah.
It's like a living tarot card. It's really cool.
Wow. Can't wait to see it.
Gina Marchioni, welcome.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
You're back home?
Isaiah,
I am.
take one of the keys.
Personification of my personality.
That's great. That's what it should be. Yeah.
It's like a living tarot card. It's really cool.
Wow.
Is anybody
Weird.
else
Can't wait
hearing
to
a
see it.
repeat? Gina Marchioni, welcome.
Yes, the audio is getting a little
That's
funky.
weird.
Luke Shevsky, I believe
Hey,
that
how are you?
sharing the live
Good. How are
stream.
you?
You're back home?
Isaiah,
I
take
am.
one of the keys.
Personification of my personality.
Call.
When serving fine wine, it's often poured into a decanter. This serves two different purposes. The first is to let some of the sediment that's gathered in the wine bottle stay in the bottle. The second is those aromas that have been in the bottle for all of those years come in contact with the air and come alive after all that time in the bottle. What does this mean for you? Well, the same thing happens. Allow yourself to be decanted. Leave the things that aren't serving you behind and allow that next fresh breath to bring out the truth of who and what you are.
There is never any doubt in my mind that I am here for something bigger than my life. I'm not always sure what I will find, but I know where to look right here inside. As I let go and let God take my hand, I let go and let God design my sacred plan. I let go and let God tend to my what and where. I let go and let God lead me there. In my inner stillness I receive a vision that only my soul can feel and see. And everything that I will ever need will be revealed upon the path before me. As I let go and let God take my hand, I let go and let God design my sacred plan. I let go and let God tend to my what and where. I let go and let God lead me there, and my garden will forever grow, blooming from the seeds that I will sow. Desires planted in my heart, blossoming through me into living art. As I let go and let God take my hand, I let go and let God design my sacred plan. I let go and let God tend to my what and where. I let go and let God lead me there. I let go and let God. I let go and let God.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
What a beautiful, beautiful way to start. Thank you so much. And good morning, New Thought Philadelphia. Welcome to another Sunday celebration via Zoom. I was watching a congressional hearing this weekend.
I can't see.
One of the guys, the congressman, was all puffing about how we can't be kept from our First Amendment rights to religion. And it's like, nobody's stopping you. The place where you are right now is a house of worship. We just take the situation that we're in and make the best of it. So the rules for Zoom are a little different because we don't get to hug each other. We don't get to all talk at the same time, except at certain parts of the celebration. Everybody has control of your own mute. We can mute so that there's not going to be the interference, but you have to unmute yourself. So I'm going to invite you to repeat after me and go ahead and unmute your microphone so we get that cool Zoom cacophony of everybody talking at once. So please repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open
Myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to new possibilities.
I open myself to new
possibilities.
And I know the good is right here, right now.
I know
And
that
the good is right
Good to see we're
here.
here right now.
And so it is.
So
And
it's-
so it is.
And now you go ahead and confirm that your mute buttons work again. And I will tell you that I'm Reverend Bill Marcioni. Our music today is Deb Chamberlain and her Crackerjack technical team over there making it sound beautiful. And our master of ceremonies for this morning is Reverend Dave Schbach.
Good morning. So New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience not an embrace of uncontrollable or path on whatever brought you here today, wherever you happen to be going next. We believe that there is one power, love, intelligence that creates everything, including each of us, and that we are each using that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs, or our new life begins with a new thought. If you have any additional electronic devices that seem to be chewing up bandwidth, we'd appreciate it if you would turn them off at this point, just so that they don't interrupt the Zoom, since we seem to be having a little bit of a bandwidth issue from a couple of different areas. So if I fade out, I respectfully ask any one of my cohorts to pick up the ball and run with it. I'll be back as soon as possible. We begin our celebration as we begin everything with the prayer, this one including technology, which will be brought to us today by our practitioner of the day, Joe Catanzaro, RSCP.
Good morning, everyone. Ernest Holmes tells us that we are guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination, which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the forces of nature in its grasp. Knowing that, we gather today and join as the one mind, the one intelligence, the one power and presence. We're joined by knowing that we are all made from the same divine substance, alive with that ancient energy that has created all form, all thought, all the energy of light and love. This power and this energy works through us and in us and as us, joining us together with each other and with that one. Our time in the celebration today is guided, blessed, and encircled by that power, that light, that love. Everything we do here, the words, the music, the thoughts, the feelings, the inspirations, the insights, are touched by that one. I know this is so. I accept this and claim this good for everyone here. I'm grateful for all of the talent, the willingness of everyone who makes this happen, for everyone who comes here today. I'm grateful for all of this good and the good of the celebration that we share. So on behalf of everyone here, I claim this good. And I release my word to the creator law. At the beginning of time has always said yes, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Joe. So in New Thought Philadelphia, we are firm believers of the effectiveness of prayer. We like to check in with the community to see if anybody's been having an experience change in their lives that's working with the prayer. So if you just want to raise your hand or use the raise hand function or whatever, let me know that you'd like to share, and we'll you can unmute yourself and share. Joe, you have to unmute yourself. You're muted.
We can't hear you.
Joe, you're on
Everything's
mute.
worked.
There we go. You're good now.
Oh, I thought I was, okay. So as I was saying, I had my first week back at work this past week after my surgery in May, and I feel great. It went really well. I'm less tired, I think, when I get home now than when I was before surgery. So I'm just really happy that it's all worked out so well, and I'm very grateful.
Amen. Breen?
Thank you, Dave. So I've got a couple. One is that I've been working on a project for a class that I'm taking, and it's the Art of Uncertainty. We have a project due this week, and I'm kind of stretching out of my, not really out of my comfort zone, but out of my area of expertise. But it's coming together wonderfully, and I'm learning a lot, which I like learning. That definitely is a prayer work story. And then I've got another one where I have a notebook. I've got lots of notebooks around from different classes and journals that I start and toss aside. And I had a book and I was thumbing through the pages of it, and it was from over 1.5 years ago when we were taking practitioner training, and there was one assignment we had to write something over and 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 over. And it was around letting go of resentment in a relationship. And I had the realization that that is an answered prayer, because I've grown a lot in this one relationship. In fact, there's things that happened recently that normally I would have really reacted to. And I'm taking it all in peace and openness. So that is definitely a prayer work story.
Thank you, Breen. Sandy? Or we just...
I'm actually getting nauseous looking at the phone, so because I'm driving. I mean, I'm not driving, but sorry about that. So, I got sick on Thursday and a little nervous because I work with patients that are ill, and I had to go get tested. Wouldn't have bothered me so much if I hadn't had a family vacation plan yesterday for all of us to drive to Maine. But my test kept getting delayed, and I reached out to Bill, and I did the daily meditation call, and then I don't know. I was just like, I don't have control over this. I'm gonna release it, and I got miscommunication about the testing information, and then eventually I just figured it out on my own and went and got tested, and the results came back in like, I don't know, 18 hours. I was supposed to take 3 to 5 days, and we are driving right now to Maine because I don't have coronavirus. So I'm really happy about that.
Thanks, Annie. Okay, Well, thank you everyone for sharing. If you are
Kathy's
having,
got her hand up.
Kathy had her hand up.
oh, I'm sorry. Kathy?
Been worried about being able to stay in my house because the taxes were so high. And I've been worried about getting a car. And this week, it turns out I'm eligible for Social Security and I'll be getting enough money to do both. So I've been praying that things will work out. And they have.
Thank you, Kathy. That's wonderful. Okay, so anyone else?
I'm just going to throw in, during the talk today, we're actually going to do a healing prayer session with a volunteer. I have one story that I can tell if nobody wants to do it live with us. But if you have something that you would like to have some prayer on and willingness to talk about it in front of the rest of the group, please just do a private chat to me and just tell me very briefly what it's about. And we will pick somebody and kind of use that as a model in the talk, which is called Practice Makes Practiced.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a few announcements, which I believe Sarah is going to bring to us.
I am. Okay, so join us for the daily online meditation, prayer, and support calls. They're less than about 15 minutes and include a check-in and meditation on health, harmony, peace, and prosperity, and really whatever little nugget comes out of the couple minutes that we chat ahead of time. It's really great. They're held Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., Saturday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 6 p.m. Same Zoom information for service. Come and join us on our Philly Spiritual Adventurers group on meetup.com. We are almost at 200, so that could be fun. Or we might have actually surpassed it by now. We'll have to double check. Join us this Monday, tomorrow, for our community visioning on taking action beyond white supremacy. It'll start at 7:30 tomorrow evening. We have the Fear to Faith workshop coming up. It's going to be held Tuesday, August 18th. It's a deceptively simple yet powerful process to activate and transform in a challenging area of your life. It can be also thought of as a sacred healing service. It's going to be from 7 to 9 on Zoom. The workshop fee will be about $20 or a love offering, whatever you feel moved to give. Our Beyond Limits class is going to begin on Monday, September 14th. It's 10 power-packed sessions to introduce you to the principles and practices of New Thought that will transform your life. It's going to be held from 7 to 9:30 on Zoom, or if it becomes safe, we can do it in person, and the tuition is $215. I highly recommend that class. It really just gives you like a place and a platform and the tools to kind of deepen into the things that we talk about every Sunday and just figure out a way to kind of implement it in your own life. So I definitely recommend it. Reverend Bill leads the teen group at CSL Delaware. It's going to be this Thursday, sorry. The next meeting is this Thursday from 7 to 8:30 on Zoom, and it's open to all teens. That reminds me, we also have our women's group, which is the last Thursday of every month. So if you'd like to be involved in the women's group, just let myself, Joe, or Sandy know, and we'll make sure that happens. In other fun upcoming news, we have the New Member Sunday, which will be held at the end of the month. It's coming up on August 30th. It'll be with orientation sessions from, I'm sorry, I can't read today. Orientation sessions following the celebration on August 16th and 23rd. Join your intention with New Thought Philly and become a member. Really what this, in my opinion, takes it to the next level. It's something that you're interested in, coming to Sunday service with us, but then kind of like, just like I was saying about the Beyond Limits, kind of deepening in and taking it from something you're interested in to something you're committed in, and kind of like giving your word to it. So join us. It's fun.
I just want to say one thing about the celebration on August
Bill,
30th.
I see your mouth moving, but I don't hear you.
Are you unable to hear me?
Oh, there you are. I can hear.
Okay. I just wanted to say something about the celebration on the 30th. So that's going to be really powerful. I love when we welcome new members. It's basically people joining their energy with the energy of the group, which is wonderful. It's also the 5th Sunday of the month, which means it's going to be a healing celebration. And the music is going to be our friend Jim Wade, who I've known for over 20 years. And he is writing 6 new original songs for that celebration. So this is going to be wonderfully powerful. So just want to put that out there. August is going to be quite a month for us.
Okay, back to the announcements. We gratefully accept donations and payments via credit card or PayPal. You can use the donate button on the website or mail a check to the office in Ardmore. Thanks to everybody who helps out and makes sure these Zoom celebrations work. We have a short technical rehearsal Saturday afternoon and then a quick one right before we start on Sunday. If you'd like to take part, let me know or let Bill know and we'll get you on the team. The reverends and practitioners are available for healing prayer sessions. Contact them through the website. After the celebration, the practitioner of the day is available for an urgent short prayer session at no charge. Today, it will be Green.
I think it's Joe, but you can contact me anyway if you want. It's fine. There's 4 of us, 4 practitioners, no waiting.
There you go. Who needs a minute? It's okay. And then, yeah, we'll be here for chit chat after the celebration.
Thank you, Sarah. It's a very interesting day for me. The video is choppy, so I get to look at. So we have a blessing and a special welcome for our first-time visitors. Is anybody here for the first time? I'm not seeing any new names, but if you are,
I am.
we love you. If
We have a new person. Hello.
Hi.
looks like we're all pretty much. And may I ask who that is?
Nicole. Yes,
Hi.
excuse me. How you doing?
That's quite all right. Welcome, Nicole. Thank you so much. So we have a special blessing for our first-time visitors. Thank you for identifying yourself. We really appreciate that. You can email us or sign up for the newsletter or join us on Meetup if you'd like to stay in touch with us, and we'd love to stay in touch with you. Everybody else, you can just receive this. Put your hands out. You are the bright light of welcome. We love you. Namaste. So
Thank
we
you.
are a welcome. You are quite welcome. It's great to have you with me. So we're together in person. We like to spend the next song greeting room hugging. That of course is not happening on Zoom, and we will probably be modifying that to some degree for some time to come when we get back together. But in the meantime, what we'd like to do during this next song is just extend your welcoming love to the people on this call, and then see if you can go outward and extend it to everybody you know, everybody in your area. Let's just generate a little love.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. And here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. Thank you.
Beautiful, Deb. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And now we're going to light the flames of faith. Reverend Dave and FlameCam 3.0 are going to take care of his part of it, and Sandy will be reading the script. And Sandy, just go ahead with the whole thing, even if the camera freezes for a second. Dave will catch up with us.
Okay. We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As Reverend Dave lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. Our reading today is from first-time volunteer. Welcome to the team, Jennifer Kerrigan. And you have to hit your unmute button.
Thank you. God's Bounty, from Living the Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. This is a direct statement that through a right use of the law, we may become free, but through a wrong use of it, we may again be entangled in bondage. No plainer statement of the law of cause and effect could be given than this. We may wire the building, turn on the electricity, and have light, but if the wire is short-circuited, something will go wrong, and we shall again be entangled with darkness. The darkness was never a thing of itself. It was merely a confused state. The source of our supply was not really cut off. It stopped at our place of confusion and no longer functioned for us. This is a perfect statement of the mental law of cause and effect, and it again warns us that we must be aware of the use we are making of the law. We must keep our thought straight. It's not always easy to do this, but the law of cause and effect, being no respecter of persons and always working automatically and mechanically and with mathematical precision, must flow through each one of us in the terms of our own acceptance. When we become confused and short-circuit this acceptance, we are cutting ourselves off from its supply, but we don't destroy the supply. It is still there. It is a wonderful thought to realize that the eternal bounty can be short-circuited only as far as we are concerned. It cannot be either exhausted or depleted. We shall never be disappointed, for the law is always operating.
Thank you. Deb has another song for us.
This next song I wrote, it's called Beloved Divine. Stand at the ocean, looking out across the water, not fully realized I am my mother's daughter. But I know what I want and where I'm going. Grateful for the path you are showing. As I walk the longest mile, one small step at a time, with faith through every trial, I know I will find my joy, my heart's desire, freedom and peace of mind. They rise up from the fire that burns with my beloved divine. There's not one single day, not one forsaken night, that I don't feel you here, right here by my side. I know with every choice I am making, the moon and stars are mine for the taking. As I walk the longest mile, one small step at a time, with faith through every trial, I know that I will find my joy, my heart's desire, freedom and peace of mind. They rise up from the fire that burns with my beloved divine. I don't have to pretend anymore that I don't know what my life is for. You keep your promise behind every door. I am blessed, and this I walk the longest mile, one small step at a time. With faith through every trial, I know that I will find my joy, my heart's desire, freedom, peace of mind. They rise up from the fire that burns with my beloved. I yearn for my beloved. I turn to my beloved divine. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Deb. My dad was picky about words. Some other friends of mine are picky about words too. One of his pet peeves was when people would use a superlative with the word unique. Like, this is the most unique thing in the world. And he said, unique is one of a kind. It can't be the most one of a kind. It's either one of a kind or it's not. Another word like that is perfect. So you can have perfect, but you can't get perfecter, because perfect is perfect. And curiously, the framers of our Constitution, our founding fathers, found a way to do it. Creating something that's more perfect, which implies that it's perfect now and it continues to get better and more and more and more as it becomes aspirational. So perfecter is something that's actually possible. And that's kind of interesting. And that ties in with the title of the talk and the subject today, which is that, and the title is Practice Makes Practiced. Because we're letting go of the idea of practice makes perfect. Practice simply makes practiced. And I'm talking, of course, about spiritual practice, although it applies to anything. So spiritual practices, there are lots of different spiritual practices that we can have. Prayer is our favorite one. And actually, Patrick and I are going to do a quick demonstration prayer session as part of the talk today. And we can pray every once in a while. There are people who do these foxhole prayers, wait until something's gone really wrong and then try and bargain with God. Oh, please, God, fix this and let the problem go away. And then there are people who have a more regular prayer practice where it's just becomes part of our life. And the curious thing about having that consistent practice is that, first of all, we remember that it's available. We don't go hours or days or weeks with a challenging situation before we realize that we can take it to prayer and open ourselves up to the infinite power that creates anything and let it happen. A minister friend of mine has the phrase, stop, drop, and pray, which is what they teach people if their clothing catches fire. Stop, drop, and roll. Just stop, drop, and pray. Remember to do that. Remembering that we can do that is hugely important. I do yoga as a practice. And there are people who do yoga just for the workout, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And there are other people who do it because that's a spiritual practice for them, of connecting with their body and allowing themselves to move and let go of the energy so that they can settle into the final resting pose, which is a still meditation. There are people who, sit on their purple pillow at meditation time and either, read Facebook on their phone or go through their to-do list. And it's better than not sitting on a purple pillow at all, but that's not necessarily the practice that we want to be in. So all of it can work that way. And the other practices we do, in addition to meditation, there's visioning, life visioning, journaling. We can do breath work. We can do tapping. There are lots of different ways that we can have a spiritual practice. I'll just make a side note. I worked for a guy who was brilliant and said some inspiring things. And then I had to sue him in order to get 3 months of back pay. And I bring that up not because I'm going to complain about him, but because Dave worked for a similar guy who was dysfunctional, but said, among other things, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And that is really profound. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. In the military, they say the way you train is the way you fight. So what we want to do is practice to have that technique, that approach, so that we can take things in stride. We don't get tripped up by circumstances or situations. We can remember the truth. We can remember the truth of what's actually going on, about the infinite power that's creating everything. Without a practice, we have the ability to forget and go back into the darkness. Not because the law is abandoning us, but because we're able to create any experience that we choose. And when we let go of our awareness of the love that's the truth of who we are, the experience that we get is of not being that. Had the opportunity this week working with Annie on her situation. She woke up feeling sick, sore throat, and I'm paraphrasing her story because it broke up a little bit while she was in the car there. Woke up feeling sick, sore throat, headache, aches and pains on Thursday, and she works with COVID patients at the hospital, so there was the concern that there was going to be that, and she didn't want to have that. Thought it might be strep throat. And then there's the thought that, well, strep throat would be better, but she doesn't, also she's supposed to be going on vacation with her family, and she doesn't want to she's not going to go if she's going to make them sick, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the question was what to pray for. Now, you could pray for Andy to have strep throat, but that's not a good idea, and the thinking would be, well, if it's strep throat, then it's not going to be COVID-19. That's really bad, but she wouldn't be able to go with her family anyway. So we pray for a negative COVID-19 test, but they're false negatives. So that's not what we want to pray for. So it's about remembering what's important. And the practice was to peel away all of the stuff that didn't really matter and just know that Annie's perfect, whole, and complete. And this is an unfolding in perfection. That's going to be joy and health and harmony and a return to that balance that's the truth and core of who and what she is, in ways that we can just completely let go of the details. She got the strep throat test and it came back negative, which is happy, interesting in medical terms. And then because she works at a hospital, she got a quick turnaround on the COVID-19 test. And as you can see, she's in the car now on her way to vacation with the family. And I'm reading between the lines, feeling much, much better. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. And our spiritual practice doesn't need to be one of those things that's defined as a spiritual practice. There was a guy, I think he was in the 16th century, Brother Lawrence. And later in life, he went to live in the monastery and to work in the monastery with the monks. And his job was working in the kitchen, cleaning pots and pans. And that's all he did, is he cleaned pots and pans. But that's not all he did, because he brought 100% spirituality to that. He made that a spiritual practice. He made the activity of cleaning those pots and pans and taking care of the kitchen be his sharing of self and gift to God. And there's a book called Practicing the Presence about Brother Lawrence. And the only monk or brother who we remember from that particular monastery was a guy who was washing pots and pans. So it doesn't matter what the practice is. There are lots of different ways that we can practice. But the important part is to find one or find a collection that works for us and then work it. Find a workable program and then work the program. And it works for all sorts of things. So I've been doing a yoga practice, and there are yoga poses that I figured I'm never going to get into that pose. And it doesn't matter, because I'm able to do the rest of my practice and everything is just fine. And this morning I found myself doing two of them that I just had been unable to do previously. It wasn't aspirational, it was just practice makes practiced. So whatever your practice happens to be, keep it up, double down. If you don't have one that you're particularly involved in, then pick something and try some things. You don't have to decide what you're going to wind up with. I've been on a 20, 30-year journey through my spiritual life, and it keeps evolving, keeps changing. I got different things. I try them, do them for a while, move on to something different. Patrick, if you're willing, go ahead and turn your mic and speakers on, and you can briefly share what your story is. Patrick, by the way, has the long distance award for today as well, because he's in Portugal.
Okay, I hope you can see me okay. It's a little, even though it's afternoon, the shadows are a little funny here. So I've been looking for an apartment to buy in Lisbon. It's been very challenging. I made 2 offers, one in early June, I think it was, and another later in July, and both fell through. And then there's also some complications with the fact that in Portugal, you only can have a mortgage till age 75, or actually age 76, which means my mortgage can only be a limited amount of time, like 11 years. Also, you have to pay life insurance on top of the mortgage. So there's just a lot of obstacles I've been working through, and also some cultural things in terms of negotiations, how they're done here. They're done a little differently here, which I'm still trying to figure out. And now I just placed a 3rd offer yesterday. And I'm reasonably optimistic it'll go through. I've looked at about 30 houses, and I'm just kind of exhausted, by the whole process. So that's basically my story, I guess, for lack of better definitions. And if you need me to close the window, let me know. Sometimes the trolleys go by.
Nope, so it's looking and sounding just fine at this point. So, and I'm going to ask a couple of clarifying questions because I heard a couple of things. One is that you are looking for a perfect, comfortable, affordable home in a great location.
Yes.
The other is that there are some cultural and financial considerations that were unclear to you before, and it's kind of, there's some mystery in that.
And still is, yeah, to some extent. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the other one is that it's been feeling like a bit of a struggle as you're going through
yes.
and taking a lot of energy and planning and thought.
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of times what happens when we're working out what the purpose of the prayer is to understand the dimensions of it. It would be possible for us to do a prayer for you to get the apartment that you've got an offer in on, and for that to come in tomorrow. And it's also possible for that to happen and that apartment to be horrible. The financials to not work, the neighbors to be lousy, I'm not going to give you a whole list of all the things that can go wrong with an apartment, because we all know the things that can go wrong with an apartment. So we could pray for you to get into that apartment, but that might not be the solution.
See.
And we can pray for the perfect apartment to show up at the perfect time. And then you're, dealing with all the frustration about how long it's taking and all the uncertainty and, and then needing a place to live and the rest of that. So we want to be very clear about what we're looking for. We don't want to specify which apartment it's going to be. I mean, the search for a new place to live is kind of like a job search. It just goes, no, 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 no. You're up at 30 no's, and then you get to a yes.
Yes.
And it stops at the yes. And I know Carla Ann's story about looking for the wonderful apartment that she's in now. I think she looked at 63 and more, yeah, and actually went back 3. So if it was 63, she looked at, she took the 60th because she kept looking and then said, nope, these aren't, and she went back. I don't know that I have that level of patience, and it might have been 163. I'm not remembering the exact number. So what we want to do is have the pieces fit together. So we want Patrick's energy level and enthusiasm for the process to fit together perfectly with the new information, cultural, financial, then the implications of all of that at the same time, so that when the perfect place shows up, all the finances and all of the legal and cultural and all the rest of those pieces fit together with it as well, in a way that winds him up with his perfect home. So what we're looking for is alignment. We're not going to pray for the house. We're going to pray that all those pieces are going to line up perfectly so that it gives Patrick exactly that perfect place to live. And the fun part about doing a prayer for alignment is that that is something that benefits everybody. To have those different pieces that seem out of whack in our life to come back, for lack of a better word, into whack. So that's what the prayer is going to be. And we get to wait a little while before we do the prayer, because we're going to do the meditation first, and then we're going to close with the prayer for coming into a perfect alignment. So what we're doing in this practice of creating a practical prayer, a healing prayer, an affirmative prayer, is to understand what the situation has been up until now, and then identify the experience that we want to be having, the way we want to feel about that once it's been transformed. And then that becomes the purpose of our prayer. We do the prayer about that. And sometimes figuring out what it is that we want is the difficult part. Because if Patrick were to do a prayer that he wants that first apartment to work out again, then he's stepping backwards. And maybe the perfect apartment for him is the fourth one, or the one that he's going to just coincidentally walk past this afternoon and say, oh, there's a place available in this building? Well, let me go check. We don't know. We don't know how these pieces are going to fit together, but that's what the prayer is going to be for. So Patrick, thank you so much for your willingness to go in with this demonstration. And thank you everybody else for practicing with me. And again, I invite you, practice, practice, practice. It's not to get to Carnegie Hall. It's not to reach your destination. It's to deepen more fully into the truth of who and what you are, which is a bright light of love. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to doing the prayer. Deb?
Here I stand on the mountain, embraced by mystery, restored by the silent wind that blows a prayer through me. In wholeness and in reverence, I walk with fearless integrity. With ease and grace, I feel the presence blessing my humility. This is my prayer, this I declare, for me and everyone, everywhere. Yes, this I pray with unbending faith, for me and everyone, every night and day. There are those whose hands are empty and whose hearts are the same. Know the truth, there is plenty, will be revealed to them again. And when darkness is eclipsing the light from their minds, morning comes with love a whispering as they open up their eyes. This is my prayer, this I declare, for me and everyone, everywhere. Yes, this I pray with unbending faith, for me and everyone, every night and day. I speak and it is so. I believe because I know this I pray with unbending faith for me and everyone, every night and day. For me and everyone all around the world. Me and everyone. For this I pray. Thank you.
And now Joe's going to lead us in a meditation. You need to unmute.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Well, I was prepared to do a different meditation, but I'm going to backtrack a little bit and thinking about the talk and the process with Patrick. I'd like to do a passage meditation on the source of our power and the source of our connection with the one that is what really is used to create new things in our lives. So as we get started, I want you to kind of settle into your chair, get comfortable, sit erect with your feet on the floor if you can. Just feel yourself supported. Get into a comfortable position and feel yourself supported. And we'll start by taking a few deep breaths to relax. So we'll take 3 deep breaths. You can breathe in and hold it at the top and then release. So we'll do the first one. Breathe in. Hold it. And release. Feel that relaxation come through your body as you release the breath. One more breath. Breathe in, hold it at the top, and release. Feel the shoulders relax and body kind of settle down. And one more. Breathe in, hold it at the top, and release. Settle in to this knowing that we are guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination, which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the forces of nature in its grasp. Imagine those moonbeams scattered across the waves. Just continue to take some nice, slow, deep breaths with that picture in your mind. And think of the power and the energy behind those forces of nature, the wind, the oceans, the tides, the rain, the sunshine. The power and the force and the energy, the intelligence behind that is ours to use. It is the truth of who we are, that divine connection. As we continue to go through this meditation, just keep nice, slow, deep breaths. Let your mind, thoughts wander. If they do, just come back to those images. The moonbeams scattered over the waves. Just breathe easily in and out.
I speak this word of prayer on behalf of Patrick and everyone within the sound of my voice. In whatever manner it will bring more peace, more joy, more harmony, more prosperity, and more good into your life. I know that there is one power and presence, one creative source of everything, everywhere. It is that infinite energy, that divine substance, that limitless love that shares itself as and through and in every part of creation, everything that exists everywhere. Is a particular expression of that divine God love. Whether the beginning was the Big Bang or the infinite saying, let there be light, we all trace ourselves back to that one. And that divine goodness continues to unfold and reveal itself. It's expressing itself as me. It's expressing itself as Patrick. It's sharing itself as each one of us. And I know that an infinite intelligence that knows everything, that's the source from which everything flows, is divinely guiding each of us into our next perfect choices and our next perfect experience. We are each divinely guided. That perfect unfolding of God's goodness revealed as this next experience. For Patrick, it is a peaceful and joyous path towards his new perfect home. And along the way, all of the seemingly separate pieces, these different expressions of infinite love that seem to be individual, but in fact are completely different expressions of the one, they all come into alignment in a way that goes beyond what we could have anticipated, and invites and allows all of the seemingly separate elements to come together in a way that brings goodness and joy. So for Patrick, it's the paperwork and the financials, it's the clarity on how to deal with the cultural issues, it's absolute sure knowing that he is in his perfect new home. For him, all of these pieces are coming together. It's joyous and wonderful, and it's happening now. And for whatever good each of us is inviting, it's happening now. And the best part is that we each get to do it free of struggle. There need be no exhaustion or depletion in the process. I claim effortlessly as all of these pieces come into perfect alignment, joyous alignment, in the perfect way at the perfect time, bringing about a wonderful new experience for each of us individually and for all of us as a community. Love is unfolding now. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the wonderful prayer work stories that are on the way. I'm grateful for the ability to speak this word of intention into the law. I'm grateful for the awareness of the creative law that is always responding to powerful intentions. And so with this deep feeling of gratitude, I release this word to that law that has said yes since the infinite said, let there be. A law that has said yes to every positive and powerful intention. It once again says yes. I let it be. So it is. Amen. I invite you to take another deep, intentional breath. Let it go. Bring some gentle movement to your fingers and toes. Bring your awareness back into your body. Once you're comfortable, you can move your shoulders, get a little bit more motion, open your eyes as Deb does another song for us.
was asleep, lost in a dream, alone and living without love, without peace, consumed with hunger and doubt. Then with words of grace I awakened, and reality returned. Every word reminding me of the truth I now affirm. I say thank you, thank you. It's the only prayer I need. Thank you, I'll say thank you in every word and deed, and with every breath of gratitude for all I'm about to receive. I say thank you for the power to believe in the one life, the one mind whose goodness flows through me, removing all my doubt and fear, restoring my sanity. And as much as I believe this truth, so shall its goodness flow. As much for you as it does for me, as faith will surely show. Thank you, it's the only prayer I need. Thank you, I'll say thank you in every word and deed, and with every breath of gratitude for all I'm about to receive. I say thank you for the power to believe. I relax and trust in the sacred love that shows my heart the way. I'm living proof that miracles happen every day. I say thank you, it's the only prayer I need. Thank you, I say thank you in every word and deed, and with every breath of gratitude for all I'm about to receive. I'll say thank you for the power to believe. I'll say thank you for the power. Thank you for the power. Thank you is the only prayer I need. Thank you all. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful. So there's practice makes practiced. And we got to do a little practice there. And love to hear if something came up for anybody during all of this, something new that you'd like to give voice to with the group. Just raise your hand and get a chance to speak up. Sarah.
Just speaking on the practiced makes practiced in general. On one of the meditation calls earlier this week, I had a challenging situation that I was lucky enough to get turned into a meditation. And then, of course, that followed me throughout the day. And that day was particularly challenging. And I kept getting yet another opportunity to choose to pivot and realign. And your talk today reminded me of Thursday, which seems a really long time ago at this point because that day was so long. But each different little thing that would come up that would present a challenge. Like I could see myself getting upset, or I could see it happening, and I was able to kind of choose to align with the power inside of me. So that was beautiful. Joe, your meditation today kind of reminded me of that too. And I remember like this was a day that it was a 12-hour day, and I was still down the shore at 9 o'clock at night. And I was looking back on it, driving back to Philadelphia from the shore. And the overarching feeling was like, it really, at the end of the day, it wasn't that bad. That each time that you get to make that, excuse me, make that shift and make that realignment in yourself, it's kind of like one step closer to feeling okay and feeling great, and being able to kind of look back on Thursday today, kind of like the same way that I was on my drive back to Philly from that day. It like, practice doesn't always make perfect, but practice makes practice. And there was something to feel good about in that. So I'm like reminded of the things that I need work on, but also the little moments when you are practicing and you can be proud of that. And so I'm thankful to not only get support for when you feel far away from that presence, but also knowing that it's all about that journey, and then being able to kind of look back on it and be proud of it, even when it's things that are challenging. So I appreciate this, everything that we do here. So I thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Anybody else? Deb? And then Carol.
Well, I got to practice it while Reverend Bill was doing the prayer, because my power surged and everything froze on me after the meditation during the prayer. And I did have an adrenaline rush, I will admit. But I just kept saying, come on, power, come back to me, come back to me. And within about 30 seconds or a minute, I had the Zoom back on. So I was able to just connect right away.
Awesome. And we all had our eyes closed, so we didn't even know.
Phew, good.
Thank you. Carol.
Thank you. I was late today because I was picking up vegetables from my garden, the local garden. So now I have flowers, I have zucchini, I have eggplant, I have okra, I have beets, I have all this great food in my house. And so that's why I was late. And really what occurred to me while I was walking there is something my dad said, which he said that life has a way of filling itself up. And I am so like busy now that my life has gone on Zoom. It's like I just get Zoom fatigue sometime and have to cut back. Yeah, so the issue of literally making time, making it a conscious practice to rest at certain times of the day, to take time for self-care, to take time for me to cook good food, key things to, my life. And, that ties in with what you were saying, Bill. So thanks for that. I also wanted to give a shout out to my sisters in this community who've been very supportive of me. And since I have the unworthy feeling, usually, I'm just so grateful that you made me feel worthy. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Sarah's turn again.
That's right. Okay. New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way you share. We don't have a basket today, but there is a donate button on the homepage. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation is in your program or on the screen, and you can stand or sit right where you are and say it with me together. I live in an abundant universe. I am one with the infinite source of all good. I am a center of conscious prosperity. I enjoy the richness of life. I bless my gift. I share my gift with gratitude and joy. I know that as I give, I do receive. And so it
And Deb, one more song.
Yay.
Hey.
So this is our big bang finish song that you all are going to sing along on. It's called Stay Strong and Keep Your Faith Alive. I think I've done it with you before, by David Newman. And basically you're going to keep singing Stay Strong, Keep Your Faith Alive. And then in the chorus, I'll say raise your hands, and you'll raise your hands and say raise your hands. And then whatever I say, you just echo me. Stay strong, keep your faith alive, all that stuff. You know. Okay. Here we go. You feel free to dance too. May the grace of God bless men and every woman in this land. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Whatever comes to meet us, the darkness won't defeat us. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Some say the end has come, said our souls are running, but I say stay strong and keep your faith alive. Oh, let's all come together and take care of each other and stay strong and keep your faith alive. Here we go, your turn. Raise your hands in the air, Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Take a step, say a prayer, Stay strong and keep your faith alive. That's the way you do it. Oh, hand in hand, side by side, with hearts open wide. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Help others find their way. Create a heaven here today. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Here we go. Raise your hands in the air. And stay strong, keep your faith alive. Take a step, say a prayer. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. It's times like this we need to remember what is real and stay strong and keep our faith alive. United in our quest to spread love and happiness, we gotta stay strong and keep our faith alive. Everybody raise your hands in the air. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Take a stand, say a prayer. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Here's the fun verse. Rama Rama Bolo, Rama Rama Bolo, Rama Rama Bolo, Sitaram. Rama Rama Bolo, Rama Rama Bolo, Rama Rama Bolo, Sitaram. Last time, everybody raise your hands in the air. Stay strong, your faith alive, and lend a hand, and say a prayer. Stay strong and keep your faith alive. Yeah, stay strong and keep your faith alive. Everybody gotta stay strong and keep your faith alive. Oh, stay strong and keep your faith alive. Thank you, everybody. Many blessings.
Oh, thank you, Deb. So we're not going to be able to take hands, but we can certainly go into cacophony mode. So if you're comfortable, go ahead and unmute your microphone. take yourself, the hand of God, repeat after me. I am love.
I am love.
Love.
I am light.
I am
I
light.
am light.
I let the light shine.
I let the light shine.
I let the love flow.
I let the love flow.
Practice, practice.
Practice makes practice.
And so it is. Thank you all
And so
so
it is.
much for being here. What a wonderful, wonderful time. Feel free to stick around. We're going to chat for a little while after. And, yeah.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Deb.
you.
Thank
See
you.
Have a good week, everybody.